Tonight, we're going to break down something the news treated like a one-day headline, something most Americans saw for 5 seconds, shrugged at it, and moved on from because that's the rhythm our media ecosystem. You get the shock, you get the headline, then they rush you to the next outrage. But this wasn't just a headline, this was a message. 3 American service members killed, dozens wounded, a drone strike targeting a U.S. base, not in an active war zone, not in the middle of some major offensive, but in what's supposed to be a stabilized region, a region where U.S. troops are positioned not for war, but to prevent one. And the group behind the attack, ISIS-K, the same branch that carried out the Kabul airport bombing during the Afghanistan withdrawal. Let's walk through this clearly, because before you can understand what this strike means, you have to understand the environment our troops were stationed in, and how the world around them quietly shifted while most Americans weren't paying attention. The strike used a one-way attack drone, low cost, low signature, high impact. These drones have become the poor man's cruise missile. Iran uses them, it proxies uses them, ISIS has learned from all of them. The drone approached the base during a vulnerable window, a period of routine when force protection measures were predictable, when defenses were calibrated for harassment attacks, not for lethality. Inside the perimeter, soldiers were sleeping. Others were transitioning between shifts, standard patterns, predictable rhythms, human beings doing what human beings do, even in uniform. The drone exploited that. It struck the living quarters. That detail matters because it tells you this wasn't a random hit. It wasn't a lucky shot. It was targeted, intentional, calculated for maximum casualties. ISIS didn't just want to hit Americans. They wanted to kill sleeping troops in their safe space. They wanted shock value. They wanted psychological dominance. They wanted the imagery, even if the Pentagon would never release the photos. This strike wasn't about geography. It was about symbolism, a message to the world and to every extremist watching. To understand ISIS-K's timing, you need 2 layers of context. Number 1, global chaos creates openings. When major powers become distracted politically, economically, or militarily, extremist organizations grow bolder. They test boundaries. They push limits. This strike came at a moment when the U.S. is politically fractured, the Middle East is destabilized by overlapping conflicts, Iran's proxies are pushing across multiple fronts, Russia and China are actively undermining U.S. influence. ISIS-K saw opportunity in the chaos, and they took it. Number 2, they needed a statement event. ISIS-K's goal has always been to differentiate itself from the original ISIS, more extreme, more capable, more global. Killing American troops delivers exactly that. It elevates their brand. It signals capability to supporters. It proves relevance. Extremist groups don't just fight enemies. They compete with each other for recruits, money, prestige, and legitimacy. A strike on U.S. troops is a PR victory in their world. Did ISIS-K act alone? No. Not operationally, not ideologically, not strategically. Modern terrorism operates inside ecosystems of participation. You have core planners, ideological supporters, regionally embedded facilitators, online radicalizers, foreign actors who benefit indirectly, opportunists who piggyback on chaos. The Pentagon has already acknowledged the drone tech used mirror designs seen across Iranian proxy groups. Does that mean Iran directed it? Not necessarily. But it means ISIS-K exists inside a battlefield shaped by Iranian influence, Russian information operations, Taliban pressure, digital extremist networks. This wasn't 5 guys in a cave. This was a product of multi-layered, interconnected battlefield. So what was the real target? Not the base, not the barracks. The real target was American restraint. ISIS-K wanted to provoke a response, something costly, something public, something that inflames the region and fractures alliances. Terrorism doesn't win by overpowering you, it wins by provoking you into overreach. This strike was a question disguised as an attack. Does America still have the will to act like a global leader, or have we become too divided, inward-focused, and exhausted to actually respond? That question determines the world our children inherit. Once the dust settled, once families were notified, something deeper emerged. This strike exposed fractures in America's modern national security posture. The US government did know ISIS-K was increasing operational tempo. We knew recruitment was surging. They regained footholds in Afghanistan. Money was moving through channels, new channels, coordination with Central Asian affiliates, radicalization spreading online at historic speeds. Analysts warned, but warnings don't stop attacks. Decisions do. Our presence shrank faster than the threat did. We created surveillance gaps, human intelligence gaps, and operational blind spots. ISIS-K exploited all of them. After the attack, senior defense officials revealed something very chilling. The base wasn't their only target. Their list included U.S. troops, Western aid organizations, civilian infrastructure hubs. Their intention was clear: go global, escalate, shift from regional terror to transnational terror. The average American has no idea what it means to serve in 2025. Today's battlefield is borderless, decentralized, drone-saturated, politically constrained, morally confusing, technologically asymmetric. You're deployed where Congress barely debates. You face enemies who aren't nations. They don't wear uniforms and they don't follow rules. Then you're targeted by drones built for $3,000 that can slip past million-dollar defense systems. These soldiers weren't in a war, but the war found them anyway. This strike sent 3 messages. Message number 1, this is to America: you are not untouchable. Number 2, this one is to extremists: ISIS-K is now the vanguard. Come join us. This is great for recruiting and great propaganda. Message number 3, this is to the global adversaries: America lacks unity. Let's test them. Extremists strike when great powers appear distracted. And right now, the US looks very distracted. Here's the worst part: Americans moved on in about 24 hours. 3 Americans died. Most people don't even know their names. That's how civilizations decline: when the sacrifice of warriors becomes background noise, when deterrence becomes optional, when the umbrella of safety becomes invisible. This psychological decay is exactly what extremist groups want. Well, what happens next, you might ask? Expect this in the next 6 to 12 months. More drone attacks targeting US outposts, copycat operations by ISIS-K affiliates, propaganda spikes, recruitment surges, pressure on the US to retaliate, Iran-backed militias using the chaos to mask their own operations. This wasn't the end. This was the opening shot of a much longer campaign. The question isn't whether ISIS-K will strike again. It's whether America still has the unity, discipline, and willpower to respond strategically. If this breakdown helped you understand what's really happening, not the headlines, not the spin, but the threat landscape our warriors are facing, then don't stop here. This channel is where we break down the long-form analysis, but the daily situational awareness continues over on my TikTok short platform. That's where I post rapid updates, short-form threat assessments, geopolitical micro breakdowns, the things the mainstream still pretends aren't happening. Follow me on TikTok, the Watchman 98, and if you want to go deeper, the mindset, the discipline, the geopolitics, the faith, the mission, the new podcast is officially live over on Spotify, the Watchman 98. Long-form conversations, unfiltered commentary, situational awareness for men and women who still believe in strength and responsibility. Don't move through this world blind. Join me on TikTok for daily intel. Join me on the podcast for the mission behind it. As always, stay vigilant, stay disciplined, and stand watch.